Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look here at KDA, and just before we do, we'll look at Bitcoin first, get a quick understanding of the market. And also just note that I'm not a financial advisor, so if you are new to the channel, I've been trading for a very long time, over 15 years, and my goal is to help you become more of an effective trader. So yeah, I try to always help educate in my videos, not just tell you the answers. I try to help explain why, and I think that might be beneficial for you. And if you'd find benefit in a trading community where I send out signals for every single trade that I take, link in the description below for that. I have a descriptive video in case you're curious about what that entails. Now, moving on to Bitcoin. Here's what we need to understand. There is two support and two resistance levels that we need to work on, right? In other words, right here between 58 and 60,000 is a major support channel. There's also a major resistance level of 65 to 66,000. The price right now is trying to break into this lower channel, which I think is realistic. We may also see the price come down to about 55,000. The main reason why I believe that is just because if we take a look here at the volume, we can kind of see that there is a strong support level, at least the most amount of volume we've seen in the past 2 weeks alone, right at about 55,000. Okay, so just keep that in mind. There's a good chance we do lose these two support levels here. Then we're going to see the price break down to 55. My goal, hopefully, is to take a long position right around 55,000 if possible, right back up to 60, 65,000. I think we're going to see a bounce off of that, or possibly 58,000, but it's a little too early to tell. I do think we're going to see a further decrease, though. That's just my speculation. All right, moving on to, let's see here, we're looking at KDA. So taking a look here at KDA, first of all, we've seen a lot of movement here, and I can see why my patrons request that I cover this, of course, because based on what I see here so far, we've got about 48 hours of significant price increase, and it just keeps on ramping up. Now, from what I understand too, wow, 100% in 2 days, that's a lot. We probably should expect to see some retracement, but keep this in mind, KDA, if I'm not mistaken, it was introduced to an additional tether on another exchange. When there's larger exchanges adopting different coins, that tends to happen a lot. So I believe that's what happened. I could be wrong, but that is what I've heard. So regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at the technical analysis. Again, this isn't fundamental. We're just looking strictly at the charts. Price is well above both moving averages. Really don't even care about that at this point. They're so far away. Bear in mind, though, the 50 will work as a potential support if the price comes back down. More so when the price comes back down, not if, because it has to recover and correct itself. Anytime we see an increase like this over 100%, it's going to come back down probably 60, 70% of the way. Again, we'll see what happens, but there's definitely going to be some kind of turnaround of what I'm guessing. We're at close to 90 on the RSI. All right, that's pretty standard. Not much else to really disseminate from these time frames here. What we got to probably do is just pull up the Fibonacci retracement and obviously kind of see what's going on with the support and resistance levels that are being created as we progress here. So what we can do is do that right now here on the 4 hour. We'll take the lowest, most recent point and go ahead and pull it up there. And we'll go ahead and see kind of where we're going to see the price level out. Now, as we can see, it's been testing 616 and keeps getting rejected. So we can go ahead and put that there as a resistance. We can also note too as well that there's a potential support here at 0.618 at about 560. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and mark down 0.38 as well. That's always a pretty good number. These numbers that I'm pulling out here aren't just out of a hat. These are Fibonacci retracement numbers. In other words, when the price goes up to a certain point, starts to retrace, we can define support and resistance levels based on those metrics. So for right now, we're ultimately looking at somewhere between 480 and I would say 618 for the price to start averaging itself out. It could try to continue to push upwards. Let's see if we have any more gas left in the tank. See, we're at a 9 right now for TD sequential. So if you're not familiar with TD sequential, it basically just helps us understand market exhaustion. When we get to a 9, it's extremely common for the price to go sideways or to retrace. Now, if the price keeps going sideways right now, that'd be awesome, because then we'd have this cooling off period, kind of like we saw back here, where it gave it a chance to kind of recover before it went on this tear, right? So roughly only, 2 days ago, the price was down about 378. Now it's almost double that, or double at its highest, right? So now we want to make sure to kind of just wait for the price to kind of cool down, because if we can get some sideways action here or sideways action here, that'd be great, because then we'd be able to get another leg up, especially if Bitcoin ramps back up again here soon, which it will likely do once it finds its bottom. Then we're going to be in good shape to see KDA probably take off and do another leg up. But based on this alone here, anytime TD sequential gives me a 9, the odds of it continuing much higher is fairly low, just based in my experience. And just note that this being new all-time high territory, it could definitely surprise us, but on the same accord, it's been up for a while and it has to kind of calm down, right? What goes up must come down. That's just kind of the natural law of things. Cryptocurrency trading, whatever it is, it can't keep going up forever. They need to have slow periods of consolidation. And if you're new to the channel, I'll teach this all the time. Basically, I'm a firm believer in healthy bull runs are going to be up over patterns, kind of like more so like a staircase. Because if you see just when it comes up like this, for example, 9 times out of 10 it'll come down and kind of level out about 40 to 60% of the way that it originally started from where it started. So just keep that in mind. There's a good chance it'll probably I would say come down here to consolidate around 560, possibly even down to 480. So if you're in the profit right now, consider taking some profit. I would, me personally, if I was in this position, I would have taken probably 50% profit. I would have started my trade though, keep this in mind, with profit targets in place, right? And that's where trading bots come into play, and they're actually very healthy, because then you can have multiple profit targets and also multiple stop losses, or just a trailing stop loss that moves up once you've hit your profit targets. And so what we have in our trading community, every time we hit a profit target, it moves up to the next available point. It moves up to break even, and then profit target 1 once target 2 is hit. So I just recommend maybe using trading bots for something like this, so you don't have to sit there and constantly, adjust it, especially when we got such aggressive price behavior. 3 commas is a good one for just a traditional, computer platform. If you use Telegram, for example, it's fully automated through Cornix, which is what we use, and it's a really good system. So generally speaking, though, just consider doing that before you take a trade. That's pretty much what's upped my game, you could say, over the past few years. In the past literally 15 years, I've been able to get tremendously better based on that metric alone. Okay, so keep that in mind. Trading bots make your life tremendously easier, because no exchanges have trailing stop losses. It's very rare for them to have nowadays, which is quite sad. Anyways, that's kind of the case here for KDA. So I foresee it kind of consolidating, going sideways. Could it leg up again? Yes, it could, but it's going to reach that exhaustive period, which it's already in that exhaustion state. So I don't see it coming up much further. In fact, I would like to not see it come up much further so we can have another leg up later. That's just kind of the general thing. So again, consider taking some profits. Move up your stop loss to the next major support level, right around, just say 460 is a rough estimate. And then you probably should be in pretty good shape. Let's take a quick look at the Ichimoku cloud. And again, it's pretty far away, but here's something that's kind of cool about the cloud. Not a lot of people know this. It works as a support level a lot of times. So just say the price were to kind of consolidate and come over here, it'll eventually bounce off the Ichimoku cloud and continue upwards. That happens more often than not in situations like these, because as you can kind of see here, if you take a look, it's already done that before, right? It holds above the cloud. In other words, a good consistent bull run, you'll notice that the price will kind of stay above the cloud. Because again, the common rule of thumb for the Ichimoku cloud, if you're new to the channel or just in general, first of all, it's one of the best metrics you could use, best indicators in trading. Because when the price is above the cloud, it's considered a buy signal. So again, I know this is hindsight 2020, obviously, but best case scenario, you would have bought in when the price is above the cloud, right? Comes down, kind of bounces off the cloud, bounces off the cloud again. Will it do it a third time? It very well could, because this is a consistent bull run. Again, it needs to have a nice period of consolidation. That's why it was able to bounce back right here. You can see right here that it kept going sideways and stayed above the cloud because it was going sideways, right? If this doesn't go sideways, we're going to see it come up and come back down, right? So just pay attention to how it responds, how it moves sideways within these two channels. Again, we're looking at 480 as a lower support, and the primary support right now is roughly about 560. So 480, 560, and the current resistance level minus the all-time high is 615. Okay, so just pay attention to how it's going there. I would not be surprised if we see the price come down, because again, we have a 9 on the 1-hour chart as well, and we see the retracement there. So we should expect some sideways action and or somewhat of a retrace. So big picture here, let's just do one last thing, kind of see where we could be if it were to continue to take off. Again, I don't want it to do this because it needs to consolidate, but eventually it will probably leg up again. Let's take a quick look here. I would say better case scenario, we're looking at somewhere in the range of about 974. So there is potential for it to jump up to about 974 at its highest point. But if it does that in the next 24 hours, we can expect it to come crashing down. However, if we get a consolidation period over the next, just say 2, 3, 4, 5 days, that'd be awesome. And then we see a leg up from there to upwards of almost $10. I think that's very likely. So just keep that in mind. KDA has tremendous potential here. It's done very well. And it's exciting to kind of see this here. So I hope some of you are the select few that got in around 30 cents to $1. If you got in under $1, comment below and let us know, because I think that's amazing. Kudos to you and job well done. I do recommend taking some profits while you still can, because this is a bit on the overextended side, right? So again, hopefully you found benefit here, of course. If you'd find benefit in joining my community, link in the description below. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and thanks so much for your time. Take care and be safe.